Okay, we're going to look at writing exponential functions. We're going to be given the graph, and we're going to use exponential functions to write the exponential regression equation. So the first thing you'll need to do is to look at your actual graph and pick points that correspond to this function. So I'm going to make an XYT table on the side. Now you're going to want to pick 3 or more points. So 3 or more points. The more points you do, the more accurate it is. And what I mean to pick points that work is you want to pick points that fall perfectly on the grid. So for instance, that point would be 0, 4. This point here would be 1, 2. This point here would be 2, 1. And just we'll do one more. All the points to the right of this look like they would be decimals. So I'm going to go back up here, and it looks like I could use this point right here, which is -1, 8. So I have 4 points. So in order to find the exponential regression equation, we're going to have to go into stat, which is step 1, hit the stat button, and you can either hit 1 or you can hit enter for edit, and you're going to be in your lists menu. We've used this list menu for a couple different things. We're going to do the same thing as last time, put all our x values in the first column. So this is going to be 0. And then in order to put the numbers in, you're going to have to hit enter, or you can hit down to enter them in the list. I hit enter. That is my x column, 0, 1, 2, -1. And my y column is 4, 2, 1, and 8. So in other words, I have the point 0, 4, 1, 2, 2, 1, and -1, 8, as I wrote over here. So now to get the exponential regression equation, you're going to now hit stat, but we're going to calculate. And just a brief reminder, in the past we've done option 4, which is for lines. That's linear regression. We're not going to use that one. We've also used option 5. That was in the last unit. That's quadratic regression. That's for parabolas. We're going to scroll down to the next menu here that has option 10, but it really only shows a 0. And that stands for exponential regression. After all, this isn't exponential graph. This is exponential decay. So you're going to click on exponential regression. You'll go down to calculate. And it's going to give you your equation. Now this little star or asterisk stands for multiplication. So it's really saying it's y equals a times b to the x. Okay, and that's also listed here in step 3. It says write your equation in the form y equals ab to the x. To show the person grading you did it in your calculator, you're going to show your substitution here, basically copying this screen onto your paper. So if you look here, that copies exactly my screen. And then you're going to, for the final answer, substitute in your a. So a here is 4, and b here is 0.5 or 5/10 to the x power. So this would actually be our exponential regression equation. And then your step 4 here says graph the function in your calculator. Check. So if I go to y equals, I'm going to put in this exact equation. We have 4 parentheses 0.5 to the x power. And then I'm going to hit graph. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is your calculator is normally set with a window of -10 to 10. We're going to adjust our window to fit this window. So if I click on the window button, x minimum starts here at -7. So we're going to say from -7 all the way to 7. That's our x value. Don't worry about the x SCL. The y minimum starts at 0 and goes all the way to 20. So if you're really going to check and compare, you should make your window the same. And sure enough, the graph matches. Okay, let's try another example. So here I'm going to do example 2. So for example 2, we have the same exact thing, another graph. We're going to need to take points off of that graph. So I show that work by making an XYT table. Okay, in my t-table, I'm going to try and pick points that fall perfect on the graph. So the first one I notice is the y-intercept, which is 0, 2. Then I also see 1, 1. Then I also see that these are all going to be decimals. So this point will work. -1, 4. Okay, we're going to go into stat, enter. I'm going to first clear the list. If you forgot, you have to scroll up to list 2, hit clear, and hit the down arrow. Clear and down arrow. And I'm going to enter in our new points. We have 0, 1, -1. Now, if you remembered, I want 3 or more, so you could technically find another point. Like I could use -2, 8, but I'm just going to use these 3 points for now. You want to use 3, at least. Now I'm going to go to calculate. I'm going to use option 0, which is exponential regression. And then I will go to, just deleted the list, hold on. If you delete a list, you can always put it back in by just hitting second and then the list list 1 or list 2. So it should say list 1, list 2. So then we go to calculate. Here we have our equation is y equals ab to the x. We have a, the calculator is telling us is 2, b is 0.5. We're going to then substitute. So we have y equals 2 times 0.5 to the x. And it makes sense because the number under here is less than 1, which would signify this is a decay graph. So then this would actually be our equation of the exponential decay graph here. But then we're also going to put it into y equals to check. So we have 2 parentheses 0.5 to the x power. Then I hit graph. Sure enough, the graph matches. Just a reminder, if you have any issues with the list, you can always reset the calculator. Resetting the calculator is second plus 712. And that's basically if you're having any issues with the list numbers. It should say list 1, list 2, list 3. If it starts with a different number, then you'll have to reset the calculator.